When my clients who have debt come to me, they've been beating themselves up for years. They feel so ashamed. Quite often in the first few minutes of the chat, they will say, "I bet I have the worst debt you have ever seen." They are so ashamed and lack confidence that it's been building over time, creating sleepless nights and a level of unworthiness that undermines their entire life every day. This breaks my heart, because usually it's because they've been so afraid and embarrassed to talk about their debt, when in fact their debt is quite fixable. I'm Carrie of Behavioral Sense. Whether you have $20,000 in debt or you have millions in debt, I'm not even going to blink. My poor clients, the first 5 minutes, they talk about how many bad money decisions they've made, the regrets they have, and how they must be so incredibly inadequate at managing their money. When we finally get down to the nitty-gritty of what they really owe, it can often be paid off in a few years. As a matter of fact, with a bit of coaching, prioritization, and money mindfulness, we can often get the debt paid off in less time than the number of years they have been beating themselves up. Sometimes I see that clients are more worried about their debt, even though it's lower than the national average. That's because of their money beliefs. If they think that money represents ability and intelligence, then debt is going to make them feel inadequate. They are going to feel less than their peers whom they think owe less money than they do. Sometimes, too, you have to factor in the amount of savings you have, the assets you have, and how much you make. So if you have a few million in debt, but you make $1 million a year, paying it off is quite doable. Now, you're probably going to have to change your lifestyle a bit, but I promise, no deprivation. So what does too much debt look like? Well, first of all, you may be paying down the minimums on your credit cards, but you can't really carve into that big balance you owe. You may be putting your groceries and your utilities on the credit card, and you aren't able to pay those off at the end of the month. Maybe you're taking a cash advance from one credit card to pay off another. Maybe you're asking for higher credit limits, or you're applying for more credit cards. Or you're consolidating your debt into one big loan and taking some cash out because you need it, or you're refinancing your mortgage to pay off your credit card debt. Now, there's also a myth that because you have debt and you can't seem to pay it down yourself, that it doesn't make sense to hire somebody to help you do this. Well, you can wander around in a jungle, thrashing around, getting tired and thirsty and hungry. You can hire a guide to get you out pretty quickly back to the comfort of your home. I find that in the first year working with a client, I can help them become money mindful, pay down notable debt, and save on all the interest that they would have otherwise paid, enough to actually cover my fee in the first year. So, are you ready to start getting sleep at night and maybe lose some money anxiety? Stay safe.